Okay, I asked ChatGPT, to give an analogy for this. So remember we looked at Claude or any other LLMs? They are the brain of the agent. N8N are the hands of the agent. APIs are the nerves of the agent. And Supabase, which you are going to learn in this session, is the memory and the identity of this agent. And the next is the front end, which is going to be the face. I'm coming to that, but thank you so much, ChatGPT. But what you're going to learn is how this AIs, whatever you talk to it, whatever you tell it, it needs to store it, right? If you have to take actions behalf of you. That is the memory. Not just store it, okay? Look at this form. I'm going to do something here where I'm going to fill this. What's my name? I don't know. Okay, now I click on submit, okay? This you can see RLS must be insert, blah, blah, blah. I just added it here so you can know what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'll come to that. But now I'm going to open Supabase. I'll tell you what that is. But as you see here, you can see, I don't know, Raul@hi.com. It automatically came to this form. It's kind of like a Google sheet, right? Is that what Supabase is? Well, no, it's depending on PostgreSQL. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. See, whenever you go to Instagram, you have to sign up. Now, once you sign up and fill all your details here, do you have to sign up again? No, right? Next, if you do get logged out, you just have to click on login and fill 2 details. So what about this full details that you had to put? That month, name, username, everything you posted, it's all saved. That is through PostgreSQL and different ways of saving that. And that is what I'll be teaching you through Supabase. So Supabase is basically like, you can think of the brain of the AI. This is where all the information is going to be saved. Not the information of the AI, that's fine-tuning rack, totally different. Look at my first course to learn about that. But this is the user's information. Maybe that could be authentication, like when you go log in somewhere. Or maybe that could be a form that they fill. Or it can just be a post that they like on Instagram. To track whatever they're doing in a platform, to save stuff, we use these techniques. Right? Like Instagram, if a user has saved or liked a post, it will automatically be saved into that user's table. Right? So basically to track whatever they are doing. And form was a very basic example. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to go through Supabase, show each things. And while that's happening, we are going to create this form from scratch. Let's do that. So we're going to do that both together. What I mean by that, because how can we do 2 things at once? Let me show you. I have this prompt prepared, okay? Me or ChatGPT, one of us. You guys guess which one. And do not look on the top. I know I have way too many things. But create a React idea. Basically, that's type of code, you could say, to create, right? Basically, a front end with a black and white minimalistic contract to connect it to connected to Supabase. Basically, what we are saying is create a TypeScript project form. Okay? Basically, we are saying build a form and install Supabase. And in that, what we have to do is put our Supabase URL and Supabase add-on key. I'll tell you where to get all these details. And from here, build this with these details. You can always add more things here. But I'm just going to see this. And I'm going to use cursor. More about cursor in the next few sessions coming. But let's just create a new form, like form. That's what I'm going to name it totally. Why not? And then I'm going to open the cursor window. We're going to open the cursor. Okay, open. Okay, and I'm going to just paste in this prompt. Now, while that happens, let me teach you a few things. This is how Supabase looks like to you. And you can see here, GitHub, iPassword, Mozilla, people from Firefox, Pika. A lot of these big companies use Supabase in the background. Now, it can lead through database, like I said, to save things, authentication to sign in with Google and mail, and vector, real time. A lot of people can use this together. I mean, if in your company more people want to see the data, everyone can do it. Now, one thing, not everyone can see your password and all. That is known as RLS security. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I just want to you'll be like, everyone can see our data then? Password and so on? No, you can't. So you can store a lot of different things are there. And obviously after a point you will have to pay, but first few projects are free. Google has something known as Firebase. I'll show it to you. And this is kind of an alternative to that, which is, by the way, Supabase is way better than Firebase, but Supabase also is getting better already. You can see the website already, it's so bad. Okay. I'm so sorry, Google. But I prefer Supabase way more than this. This is too complicated, man. And trust me, Supabase is way easier than Firebase. Now, Once you log in, which is very easy, you should know how to log into a website. Like I said, not a tutorial course. Okay, you open, I'm going to create a new organization here so you know how to do things on the start. So you come here, I'll put in your name, which is I don't know. Okay, any project is enough. Let's say, okay, Rescue or Thinkcraft. That's our academy's name, right? Now Thinkcraft, please tell me you know that. And then you can choose which tier you are in. We're just going to start with the free tier. And now here, there are a lot of different things you can do. Once this loads, I can totally show it. Password, I think put something new there. Project name also you can put, organization also you can put. I'm just going to create something new. And here, let's just check out our form. Okay, it's working on it. While that's happening, let's come back. Okay, so this is how Supabase UI looks like. Now it looks pretty complicated, trust me. I thought it was first. Now if you come to this side, you'll see table, SQL, database, authentication, storage, edge functions, real-time, blah, blah, blah. Lot of things. Now tables and SQL database are pretty simple, but basically what SQL editor is, that is where you put the code. So if you want to run a certain command or anything, so you don't have to manually write things, you do it through SQL editor. Basically, you know how a terminal works? You put a code and everything runs. So rather than coming here manually writing things, writing each columns, if you put one command here, one command at the SQL editor and run this, it will automatically come. You will understand what I'm talking about. Just give me a sec. I'll come to that. But like I said, that is where you save the data. That is the database. You can have different databases here for each users, etc. And you can see functions, triggers, extensions, a lot of different things. Policies, roles. Okay, policies are important. Basically, policies are basically things that a table is allowed to do. Is that table allowed to be edited by the user? Can the user edit what all they liked? Yes, they can. But can user edit their password always? No, they can only edit it. Let's say Instagram, you can only edit it every day. So setting certain policies and limits. That's policies. There are a lot of different things here. But real time, basically more people using the same Supabase. That's what real time is. Edge functions. This is more towards server side. I'm just here to show you guys the basics of Supabase and how to use it. So you don't have to go too in depth, but you can see Vault is there. A lot of different integrations are there. You can definitely go more in depth and learn about this. But the main things is, if you come to project settings and come here to APIs, okay, this is very important. Look at this. If you come here to APIs, this is where you see secret API and add-in key. I'll just show you this with add-in key. This is add-in key and this is the service role. Never reveal your service role, never use it in a front end. But this add-in key, copy that. Okay, that is what is I was talking about the add-in key here, the second thing. Okay, add-in key also never give it to anyone, never show it to anyone. I'm going to change mine from the other project. And here, this is your project URL. Give this also under the cursor and it will automatically create the form. Now, let's get back to the what? Let's get back to what? Okay, the SQL editor. Now, what do I mean by SQL editor? Raul, what do I mean by, you can just type something and it automatically adds. Right now, if you notice, I don't have any table, I don't have any database. If I have to add a table, I have to click here, create table. I have to add each thing, add column. Then I'll have to add what all columns were there? Name. Then I'll have to add email. Right? I'll have to add all this and it's way too complicated if you're building a big app. If you're building an AI to the memory, everything, it's very complicated. Imagine, by the way, this database as a Google Sheet, by the way. But if you take this, these things like timestamp, name, email, phone number, date, organization. This thing, this top thing is what these are. These are basically the main topics of what it's supposed to fill, right? Now this, it might take a lot of time to fill or not. So easier way to do is come to an SQL editor, okay? Now fill in this type of command. I'll show what I'm talking about. Look at this. Again, you can ask cursor the command for the SQL editor. Just ask cursor, give me a command for the SQL editor and it will give you. And this will give you this whole thing. That's what I kind of did here with ChatGPT. But simply put, you can write it on your own also. You can see here, email, text, no, none, no, none. Basically, don't write it right now. And what we are saying is create a table if it doesn't exist for these things. And that alter table whenever we get public contact submission. Whenever we get, here you can see public contact submission, right? Whenever we get that, update this table. And now create policy, allow authenticated. Basically, what did I say? Create a new policy. What are policies? Policies are when it is allowed to happen on a table. So here I say, allow authenticated insert. Whenever I'm using my anon, the authentication is anon. When I'm using that anon key, I should be able to edit the table. So I have to have that anon key. And this in the backend, it's actually using the anon key and all. It's very that, but I don't want to go too in depth into all this technical stuff. But here, if I click on run, okay, it's like a command. I'm running this. Success, no rows returned. I mean, success and no rows. Let's talk about that. Come to database. And you can see it is here. Check it out. Okay. Now, we just added this here. Now, obviously, you can't see it here. Now, if we click on View Table Editor, you won't see anything here right away. But, let's see if our form is done. Okay, it's done. I just tell it to run these things. Run these. It's very easy to run these on a terminal also, guys, by the way. This being very easy, making AI do it. But you can see here, it did everything. And all I have to do is run this. Once it runs, the form will be open. And inside the form, we just have to fill this. Okay, this is done. Okay, let's try to fill it. Raul, I don't exist. Allos, I don't care. Comment. Okay, set. Let's see if it gets set. New rules violates row level security policy for the table. Okay, let's see if it is added. Basically, the tables also need to be checked always. Oh, okay. Because the reason this didn't work, I'll explain is, not this form. It's because this API, this anon key and this I used in this form and this form also. Because I used it in this form, it violates its rules. That's why it's not allowed contact submissions. But normally, if you do follow these same things, it will automatically work. If it opens, I can show it. And here it is. So I'm just going to come to Docker and come up and search Supabase. Okay, you can see here Supabase Postgres does that. What you have to go is go to just Supabase and run this, run the Postgres one and click on run. It will download it and it will create this full thing for you. If you come to the hub, you can basically see all the details, what all it does, everything like that. But basically, this is the same version as Supabase, but a free one. But this is going to run on your computer, not the internet. So you will need a server, you will need to pay extra for that. But you can definitely do it through Hostinger and other sources out there. But that is what Supabase this is. I do want to add one thing, guys. Hopefully, you're following us with this, creating your own agent, starting to use N8 and trying to build something with us. And now this video is all about having a backend, saving information, adding basically mail, sign in, right? Like Google sign in, Facebook sign in. You might have seen it other ways. You need to have a mail password sign in, at least if you have to have an app, right? Is there an app without sign in? Authentication, that's what known as. No, right? So this will actually help you that. So hopefully these sessions are helping you. Hopefully at the end of the day, you will check the description out to submit your form, submit your project, because we really need to see your project at the end of the live. And yeah, this is done. Let's click on run. Okay, basically just enter 0 and that you get a URL, just click on this and it will open a view like this, just like the Supabase here. That's pretty much it. Like you can locally host Supabase like this. You can use the online one any way you want. And what I just did here is locally do it and online, so you guys can learn both ways. That's it from my side. Next session is going to be, which one is the next session, Josh?
Google AI Studio.
Oh, the next one is going to be Google AI Studio. Like I said, this is the memory, the security. Next one is the face. So let's go to the face. That is not just me. That is not just Ishan. We both are going to teach you together on a live. Okay, come see you there. next tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Don't forget to put the projects. Bye for now. Before you leave, click on the link in the description and submit the projects which you are building, because on June 6th, we will actually be presenting it to millions of people on my Instagram, and me and Ishan will also give you feedbacks on it on June 6th on a live video. Yes, even though these are pre-recorded, live video is happening on June 6th, but make sure your projects are based on what we are teaching you to. We are doing this for free, guys. Also, do you know another thing which is completely free? The ThinkCraft app. If you want to learn more about AI for students, AI for businesses, things like that, imagine Duolingo but to learn AI with gifts and how I teach. Check out the ThinkCraft app because it's completely free and it's on Play Store too. That link is also in the description and the comments. And if you join our WhatsApp channel, all the links are there too, guys. Okay, bye for now. Join tomorrow, okay? Join.